The Ice Warriors is really well executed. As far as black and white era Doctor Who monster mash fare, it's good stuff. The Ice Warriors make for fairly intimidating yet slightly uncanny and surrealish, children's nightmare fodder. And we've also got the smart use of the set so as to employ some stylized shots and visuals when enunciating the action. I think the cast is strong. I think Troughton is as good as ever. Jamie is entertaining. Victoria is very good. It's unfortunate she has to be a damsel yet again, because Victoria was quite intelligent. Not as smart and potentially. I mean, her scientific knowledge is up to the 19th century. She's more aware of what's going on in a scientific context than Jamie is, although not as much as Zoe was by the end of this season. But we'll get to that. Very positive feelings about the Ice Warriors. It's held up better than I had anticipated. Perhaps because it's that brief drought of, the slight disappointment of viewing the reconstructions of 2 and 3, and then we get to 4 and we get to see how it's playing out. And it's like, oh wow, there's a great, fresh and invigorating novelty to that, I think. It's the kind of show you admire for its unique and the peculiar context that led up to its very specific production values. And I think that kind of expressionistic theatre aesthetic, which Doctor Who winds up resembling more so than actual adventurous, authentic sci-fi fantasy bravura, I mean, it does wind up as this. It's intending to be this. And it's the fact that I've said this before many times, I'll just repeat it here. The fact that we choose to believe that these props are actually the constructions of this great device which can travel beyond and between space and time, that this particular plastic/cardboard monster costume is one of the most dangerous beings in the history of the cosmos. And it's the fact that we let that cool and exciting, nifty design, this kind of DIY creation, the fact that we invoke a kind of play pretend when appreciating that effect in the wider narrative, it invokes an act of imaginative fervor and excitement, and I feel as though it grounds it to some degree, rather than the limitless, ingraspable absurdity of, some of the in literature where there are no rules. You can have just limitless Terry Pratchett silliness, or I don't dislike Terry Pratchett, he's very good, or the known indulgence of comic book universes and the inevitable, though endearing, absurdities of dimension hopping and interstellar battles from Marvel Comics to Osamu Tezuka to Alejandro Jodorowsky. There's many Neil Gaiman. There's many just mind-bending yet visually articulate and imaginative, creative pieces with which to demonstrate the limitless possibilities of an artist's and or writer's creative imagination. Now, Doctor Who was aware of its production values and yet tried to go fairly grandiose anyway, and yet there was that gravity of the budget pulling it down, and the compromise, that fantastic act of imaginative ingenuity when realizing that, okay, this tree will double for our base, and this wheelie bin will double as our Defiant, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, just for those who don't know what I'm referring to. Whatever, the point I'm making is there's that's what makes Doctor Who a fascinating curiosity, I feel, in this classic era, especially when the effects are... I mean, I think the production values improve in the 70s, but you do have to take that that quasi mentality going into the 70s, or at least you don't have to. That's, to me, it's organic. To me, that's me explaining why these classic Who serials are inherently appealing to me, and I think that if you want to know where I'm coming from, and you don't understand it still, that's the mentality you have to go into an episode with, I suppose. We'll close it here for copyright reasons. Thanks again, my good and dear friends. Appreciate it immensely.